Welcome back, Patriots, and a big good morning to you. Hopefully you're doing well. Welcome back to the Bald Brad Show, where we cover all the major news you need to know about heading into your work day, your work week, heck, when and whatever you're doing. We're going to bring you a holistic view of what's happening, not just domestically, not just locally, but also internationally, because we have Donald Trump saying he may leave NATO over its failure to back Iran operations. And then we also have Daily Wire wins a landmark free speech victory and censorship lawsuit. So I want to break that one down for you. We also have news coming out of the California Post, which we always love going to as well. We're going to be breaking that down. And ICE custody Mexican national released by LA after wildfire arson suspicion. A little bit of an update there for you too. And then Seattle downtown office, get this. Vacancy hits a 35, basically 36% high. I mean, things are just popping off for these left-wing cities and areas. People getting out of Dodge, they're leaving, they're fleeing, they don't want anything to do with it. It's bad. Oh, it's real bad. Okay, well, rapid fire news day, I suppose. We got a lot of stuff going on. Let's hit up our lead story here with Donald Trump signaling a seismic shift in the post-World War II global order. President Donald Trump said he is strongly considering withdrawing the United States from NATO, delivering one of the clearest warnings that Washington may no longer be willing to underwrite European security without reciprocal support. Now, just because, let's say, Donald Trump did pull out of NATO, that doesn't mean the next guy that's going to come in office 3 years later is going to join back up. I mean, you only have so much pull, and I would imagine that's what the European leaders are saying is, well, that's fine. I mean, if he wants to pull out, that's cool. We'll make it work for 3 years, but we'll get some other sucker in here later on that will sign back up. Delivered in a, little blunt and charismatically, we'll say. I know it says something different, but it's the Trump. I don't think this characterized Trump, too much. The Telegraph argued or said that Trump argued the alliance has become a one-way street, with the United States expected to defend Europe while allies declining to support American operations. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a tough one because, yes, we are expected to defend Europe if something were to happen. And then obviously it goes the other way. If something were to happen to us, that you would help defend us against some enemy or foreign adversary. But this is a little bit different because we went and attacked Iran, and they're not exactly defending us, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know if this definitely aligns with what Trump is saying. It seems kind of a little pretzel-y to me. And I will always be honest with you guys. I'm never going to lie to you. It's just my thinking. Hey, you might have a different way of thinking. That's fine. Life goes on. The catalyst for this potential divorce is the refusal of European allies to support the U.S.-led effort to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah, but I mean, you would have had to known, right, that this was going to happen. Like, Trump would have had to known that that strait would have been a cluster bleep when he started doing this whole maneuver with the Iranian regime. I would imagine. I mean, he's not a dumb guy. You've had this thing planned out for a while. It's a vital artery for 20% of the world's oil, which has been temporarily shuttered by Tehran. Asked whether he would reconsider U.S. membership after the war with Iran is over, Trump did not hedge. He said, oh, yes, I would say beyond reconsideration. He said, I was never swayed by NATO. I always knew they were a paper tiger, and Putin knows that too, by the way. I think there's some truth to that, but I'm also wondering if Putin himself and Russia is a little bit of a paper tiger with what's going on there in Ukraine, because if they were a paper tiger, wouldn't they have already taken Ukraine? Like, I'm talking like really just steamrolled them. I know that munitions are being sold to the Ukrainians, but I've talked to some people about this on TikTok. I've been on a couple TikTok lives as well. And we were specifically talking about paper tigers and Russia being one of them. And I'm telling you, I'm kind of a little sold on it. Not sold 100%, but I mean, Europe's definitely a paper tiger. France, you're a paper tiger. You're going to pet the paper. Trump pointed directly to European reluctance to support efforts to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, a vital artery for 20% of the world's oil that has been shuttered by Iran, as evidence that the alliance is failing, and noted the United States has automatically stood by Europe, including in non-member states like Ukraine. The favor has not been returned. And again, that's a very good point as well. You know, Trump's making a good point there that Europe's asking the United States to step in and you know, help support Ukraine and all these other things. But in a way, I mean, Ukraine's not even a NATO ally. In a way, is it like defending Europe? Again, you got to pretzel your way into that. I mean, there's some talk, right? If Putin was to take Ukraine, then you're on the doorstep of NATO, but nothing's happened yet. Then you go into the whole conversation. Do you wait till somebody gets big and mighty and is at your doorstep before you do something? If you know a guy is probably going to break into your house, do you want to give him the opportunity to get that close to your house knowing that he's probably going to break into it? I don't know. Probably not. Maybe he won't break into it, but the probability is a lot higher. Don't exactly want him on my property. Something to think about. Something to think about. Alrighty, so we got that there for you. That's pretty much it. Marco Rubio did come out. Matter of fact, let me see if I can pull that clip up for yesterday. Marco Rubio, I believe, did mention about this when asked something similar. Let me see if there is a clip. There is right here. Here we go.
Achieving that goal. We were going to destroy the factory so they couldn't make more missiles and more drones. And that is moving forward. Every single objective the president clearly laid out on the first night of this operation is being effectuated. Again, Pete will speak to the specifics of it. This has been an incredibly successful operation. Every day, it may not get covered because, you know, we're unlike them. We're not bombing embassies and hotels. We're hitting military targets. But every day, the Department of War lets the drummer get wicked over every portion of Iran that has these military capabilities, and the results are going to bear fruit for the world. The world is going to be a safer and a better place when President Trump's mission here is achieved. And frankly, I think countries around the world, even those that are out there complaining about this a little bit, should actually be grateful that the United States has a president that's willing to confront a threat like this and not allow it to continue to persist. Because these people will kill as many Americans as they have a chance to do, and if they have a nuclear weapon, as the Vice President pointed out, they could kill millions of Americans in the future, and that is a risk that was not going to continue to exist as long as we had this president.
Marco 2028. Right now, he's my guy. I mean, right now, the dude is having my vote. Could things change? Yeah. You know, I'm not a guy that just is in line and in lockstep, but the guy hustles, man, and he's made really good decisions. He's had a lot thrown at him. I would say way more than JD has, and I'm not against JD. Everybody gets upset when I'm like, oh, well, you know, JD's not my top guy. If you look at history, usually it was always the secretary. I should say always. That's being silly. Early on, secretaries of state were kind of the ones that then went up and were the kind of the successor to the president, you know, obviously going through the right modes of elections. But anywho, there's I stumbled upon this just right now, so we might as well just cover it. It wasn't in my lineup, but you know, sometimes the social media gods deliver for you. We know this. It's happened to us how many times now on the show. TMZ hunting down members of Congress like the paparazzi is probably the healthiest dose of transparency Washington has seen in decades. I saw a clip that somebody posted late last night, and it was about TMZ, that I guess Harvey Levin, and you guys know we've been on TMZ. We were on a segment, very short segment, but Harvey allegedly, and TMZ is very fed up with Congress and also the Democrat Party and says they all need to go. I like this. I'll be honest. I get TMZ was kind of known for the whole celebrity thing, but since these politicians want to become celebrities, let's get the camera in front of their face. I don't want to be a celebrity, by the way. Nick Sorter said, I tried doing that until I get effectively banned from the Capitol soon after my confrontation with Raskin over support for Kilmore Abreu Garcia. Oh, yeah, let's see this.
Get out of my face, you little fascist. Get out of my face. Hey, Congressman, quick question for you. So you initially,
Who are
originally...
you?
Hi, my name is Nick.
Nick,
nice
from
to
where?
meet you.
Which
I'm from
media
X.
entity?
I'm from X. So I have to ask you,
Wait,
you said
You
Kilmar
have to get-
Abrego
excuse me.
Garcia.
You're gonna-
you
excuse me.
voiced a lot of support for him originally. Now he's been charged with facilitating the
to your
transport
job. Go back to your
of
job.
illegals. Are you
Really?
still going to double down on that?
So he gets due process now? Do you
He
believe
gets
in
due
do you
process
believe in
now?
due process?
I
You
don't think he...
believe-
Wait,
Oh,
was
I
he
thought you
supposed
were
to be here to
American.
begin with? Was he illegal? Was he
Americans
illegally?
believe in due process.
How did Kilmar Abrego
Trump's
Garcia
judge
get here?
allowed him to be here.
How-
did you know that?
how did he get here
Watch
originally?
out,
Did
you
he
can
come
hurt
here
yourself.
legally?
Your girlfriend's
Did he come here
calling.
legally?
Get back to your job,
Okay,
man.
so you can't answer the question.
Yeah, no.
Well, you seem a little angry about it. Is that why? Is it because you were made to be a fool out over it? I mean, you were supporting a man whose wife accused him of beating her.
Trump's
You've gotta
judge
be
allowed him
kidding
to be
me.
in the country. Did you know that?
He's not in-
Trump's
no.
judge allowed him to be in the country.
He was allowed in the
No,
country, and then what?
no,
And then
but
what
check
happened?
it out.
And then what happened? Then he was deported back to his home country. You keep calling him the Maryland father, who apparently beats his wife, which she said on the record that he beats her.
Go back to your QAnon
so,
meeting.
Is
Go back
it
to
okay
QAnon
with you?
meeting.
Is it okay with you to
QAnon's
see
calling you.
to
Go
see
back to
illegals
QAnon.
smuggling other illegals through the country? Is
Go
that what
back
the
to
people of
Go
Maryland
back
want?
to QAnon.
The people of Maryland, you think they want illegal gangbangers?
Go back to the people
bringing
of Mars, man. Go back to wherever you think you're from, all right?
Okay, so human
Just get out
smuggling,
of
yes
my
or no?
face.
Human smuggling,
Get
yes
out
or
of
no?
my face, you little fascist. Get out of my face.
Little
I'm not,
fascist.
yes,
Okay.
you are.
All right. Well, okay. We'll let's
Get
go.
out of
Let's
my
go to
face, you
Padilla
little
then.
fascist.
Okay. What about Padilla? Are you
Get
saying
out
what
of
he
my
did
face,
earlier
you
was
little
okay?
fascist.
Going in an
Look, I don't know how often he gets confronted by people and reporters. I'd imagine it's quite often. There could be some irritability there. It's not a good look for you to start calling Americans just like fascist as a congressman. Do you know what I mean? Like he's saying, well, who are you at the beginning? Meaning you don't actually know who this guy is. And maybe he does. Maybe he's playing stupid. But if you don't even know who that guy is, and in a span of a minute 30, you're just going to somehow just start calling him a fascist, I don't know. But I mean, I'm not shocked. It's Raskin. He's a knucklehead. So we got that there for you. Alrighty, let's get to this. I want to see what this is all about. Seattle downtown office vacancy hits record 36% high. A Cushman and Wakefield report shows Seattle's downtown office vacancy reached 36% by late 2025, up sharply from 2019 levels and above the national average of 18%. Is this Glenn Beck talking about it here?
Seattle is insane, and it's full of insane people. Nearly 1/3 of the office space is empty. 35% at the core. More than a quarter of all of the office space all across the city is vacant. Entire buildings are dark at noon. Elevators that carried thousands of engineers and lawyers and designers and now move janitors and security guards through hollow floors where the lights never come on. This is policy that is doing this. And the response from the city leadership shows something that is far more than incompetence. It is intentional destruction. They just passed a new tax in Seattle. You make over $1 million, you get an extra 10%. No, sorry, not 10%. That would be madness. 9.9% extra tax. They don't have any understanding of how an economy works. Seattle is in.
To be fair, a lot of people still do that remote stuff. But, and if you read it up here, it says up sharply from the 2019 levels. This is a little bit misleading. And look, I'm not a big fan of Seattle. I'm not a big fan of these leftist territories at all. But 2019, we all know what happened in 2020. So obviously there would be a sharp uptick because everybody started doing remote. Now, yes, I understand this is late 2025. There's still going to be vacancies. But especially with leftist areas, they're not exactly conservative in the sense of, well, you need to go back to the office. You need to be in the office. That's more of like an old school style mentality. Factors like remote work. There you go. Here we go. Factors like remote work, tech layoffs, high cost crime, and a new state tax on high incomes over $1 million fuel the debate. While Mayor Katie Wilson proposes a vacancy tax on empty spaces. Really? God, they just try to nickel and dime us, don't they? They just really just want to just take your money. A vacancy tax. Get out of here. So I'm so tired. It's like that's all they do. It seems like they just sit behind a desk with a bunch of other idiots and go, what's the best way that we could just take people's money? They don't want you to have your hard-earned money. They don't, because they think that you don't know how to spend it. That's the thing. They think they know better than you about everything. That's why they give you all these stupid laws. Granted, some people do need them, but most of us don't because we're normies. And that's why they impose all this stuff upon you. I don't know if you're seeing it as much as I am, but the government is definitely becoming that basically baby mommy daddy that tells you what's right, what's wrong, which way's left, which way's right, which way's up and down. Oh, and by the way, you don't know how to spend your money either. So now we want to start looking into your bank account to see what you're spending. You know, the IRS been wanting to do that, as well as Elizabeth Warren and the rest of these lefty lunatics over there in Congress. Leave us alone. That's what we want. And this is why I think you need more turnover there in Congress. What I mean by that is term limits. Because it's supposed to be like almost a volunteer job. Hey, you know what? I gotten a lot out of this country. It's a way for me to get back. Maybe you didn't serve in the military, and now you want to serve in Congress for a few years. And, you know, you get a bunch of normies in there, not these career politicians and all this other stuff, these bought and paid for, making, 70,000% on their money. Gee, I'm wondering if they have a vacancy tax. Let's get a vacancy tax on Congress, huh? It's a little stupid saying, but you know what I mean. I just want them vacant. I want them out of there. In early 2026, signs point to slight recovery with stabilizing rents near $48 per square foot. I guess that's stabilized. Yeah, right. And positive national trends through property values that have dropped over 50% since 2021. You know, one thing you look at, though, the reason why I say there's definitely like truth to this, I'm not saying it's not happening, is because if you go down to Santa Monica, that whole 3rd Street Promenade, which used to be like a hustle and bustle place, very nice, right next to the beach, a little bougie. Everybody used to go down there and walk around because you can go just right down the street, not far at all, and you'll hit up that Santa Monica pier with the big Ferris wheel that's in all the movies. You come right back up and you hit up 3rd Street Promenade, bunch of restaurants, there's clothing stores there, all carved out. There's so many vacancies on that 3rd Street Promenade. It's sad because if you talk to anybody that's lived there their entire life, which I have, they'll tell you, man, it's very, very sad to see what's happened to that place. All righty. Well, speaking of places, we got Boise removes pride flag after Idaho governor signs flag fine law. Did I not just get done mentioning that there's just law galore? Here's a law, everybody gets a law, like Oprah Winfrey. When you see all these laws having to go into effect, you really do see what the founders were referring to, where this country is for basically a moral and religious people. And if you don't have that, everything just collapses, because when you don't have morality, and morality tends to come from religion, then ultimately you're going to have to impose morality on people in some way, shape, or form. And if it's not coming from religion, guess who it's coming from? Other people like man. And then government. And that's how you get bigger, bloated government. And that's how you get less freedoms and less liberty for those that are under the government. And that's happening to America. That's why, and it's not just my idea too. I was thinking that America wasn't going to last very long anyways, because we're an outlier in terms of republics in human history. But this was also echoed not too long ago by Thomas Sowell. And I almost fell out of my chair. And I was on the couch, to be fair. I couldn't believe it. I rewatched it, I think 3 or 4 times. I know that sounds silly, but I want to make sure that I was hearing him right, because I really enjoy Thomas Sowell. That's a guy that, has his head on straight. We need more of him. And said the same thing. He thinks that, America is obviously not heading in the right direction, and it's probably going to collapse at some point. Now I'm paraphrasing. Anyways, it says here, Idaho Governor Brad Little. I always laugh when I get that last name in there. Brad Little. Signed House Bill 561 on March 31st, adding $2,000 daily fines for unapproved flags on public property. Wow, dude, that's a heavy, he ain't messing around, man. That is a hefty bill. $2,000 daily fine for unapproved flags on public property, building on a 2025 law that Boise had ignored. Well, of course, and that's a problem, by the way. I don't like when people ignore laws. And it's the same thing, even this is one of the problems I had actually with Donald Trump, was because Congress voted to basically ban TikTok. And he said, well, no, I'm going to just kind of keep it going anyways. I don't really like picking and choosing what laws we support and don't support. It's the law. And unfortunately, if you don't like it, then, you know, you have to work with Congress to change it. There's a lot of things I don't like in life that I have to follow. I don't exactly like going 65 on the freeway. I think it should be 75 or 85, but I got to go 65. Now, do I go slightly above that? Yeah, everybody does. You got to keep the traffic moving, folks. You can't be that slow poke in the lane. Don't be that slow poke. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Stick to the speed, folks. Stick to the flow of traffic. Well, the city, which flew the pride flag for over a decade as an official symbol, that's wild, removed it around noon to comply. Boise leaders like Mayor McLean insisted the flag represents non-political values and vowed to keep the city welcoming, while conservatives online cheered the change. Yeah, keep it the American flag. Your American flag and your state flag. That's all you need. You don't need all these other Black Lives Matter flags, the trans flags, the LGBTQ plus alphabet soup flag. No. You keep it your state, your the American flag, the state, the city, local. That's cool. That's cool. We don't need all this other stuff. We're tired of it. Now that, but you notice something we talked about. Y'all see this? What's the consequence here? The consequence is hefty. The consequence is real hefty. I thought I had to sneeze. Hold on. It's coming. Okay, we're good. But this is when you impose hefty consequences. Nobody wants to pay $2,000 a day. So when the penalty's harsh enough, that's when people start moving.
It's not political. It's not religious.
Ooh, that's loud.
It's not ideological.
For each other will carry us through. Yes, our love for each other will carry us through. We're here with our courage.
Yo. When they started singing like it's a funeral. Hold on, let me collect my thoughts. Oh, Lord, bring me down from the pits of the heavens. Look at this.
Yes, our love for each other will carry us through. We're here with our courage.
We're here with our courage. We're here with our bravery. Oh. Unbelievable. You know, sometimes you don't know if you should be clicking on something. This is just incredible.
For each
Other.
carry us through. We're here with our courage. Our love for
each other.
carry us through. We're here with our courage.
We are the trans LGBT community. You know, they're doing this and they get the spirit fingers out. We are the love for each other. You know, and they're all looking at each other like they're the choir. All right. Oh God, we're having fun here. Hopefully you're having fun. If you are, hit that like button. Look, we gotta do a little bit of teasing. It's silly. Okay, it's silly. You're acting. It's a trans flag. There's no business being up there. And by the way, if there was like another, I don't need another flag up there. I'm trying to think of like a flag that we kind of run around with as like, okay, the Trump flag. The Trump flag shouldn't be up there. Now somebody say, well, that's obvious, Brad, because that's political. It says Trump. I'm just giving you an example of, look, there's a lot of different style of Trump flags. I don't need that up there either. I don't want that there. It's the same way like when we're looking at I'm trying to give an example, like the hockey stuff, the NHL stuff, how they always do like the Pride Night. I don't need any of that in sports. I look at sports and certain things to get away from the politics and the craziness of the world. I want to be in a vegetative state and just watch the sport. I don't need the rainbow colored hockey tape on your crap. I don't need like a bunch of, look, I'm there to watch a hockey game. That's all. All right, do you guys want to see something cool, a little palate cleanser before we actually get into more politics? There's a Windsurfer that everybody was talking about yesterday that crashed into a whale. Yeah, I know, it sounds crazy, but it happened. Check this out. We got footage of it. Watch this. There's a whale. Boom! I mean, by the way, freaky deaky that there's a giant whale under you right now and you're just, there's no like, I'd be flipping out. I'd be freaking out that giant thing is under me in the water and that guy's just kind of chilling. By the way, it looks like a pretty strong current. Isn't that crazy? The whole ocean, and that guy crashes into a whale. Somebody has to have the stats on that. I have a feeling he had to have seen the whale at some moment and he wanted to get a better, closer look and he just misjudged it. That's my guess, because to run into a whale in the ocean, which just looks more like a harbor, you know, I just, look, the odds is just wild. Well, I just mean like, I don't know if we're talking about the same thing here. Like, I mean, what is he supposed to do? I would have been like on the surfboard, you know, the windsurfing board a lot quicker. Like I would have been frantic, like, oh, get me out of here. There's a whale, there's a huge whale. You know, this guy's gonna be like Jonah and the fish. He's gonna spend 3 days, 3 nights in the belly. Freaky deaky, dude. Like, I'm not a big fan of the water, you know. I mean, I could go swimming in it. I'm just saying, it's just a little bit scary. All right, let's get to some more news. The other news I wanted to get to here was the Daily Wire, and this is breaking 2 hours ago. So, in a major legal victory for free speech, which I'm all about here, the State Department has settled a lawsuit brought by the Daily Wire and others in 2023, and if it's the one I'm thinking of, this is big then. Ensuring an end to its support for censorship of American media outlets and putting the burden on the government to prove compliance to outlets harmed by its actions. A federal judge on Wednesday entered a consent decree placing the Daily Wire and the Federalist, a co-plaintiff, in charge of ensuring that future state departments do not fund efforts to deem news outlets disinformation. Okay, I'm cool with that, but what about the misinformation part? Because those are two separate things. Misinformation is when you say something or put something out there that, unbeknownst to you, is inaccurate. And that happens a lot with stats, because you might be looking for something, you want to get ahead of the news, or you want to make sure you hit a trend, and you found like an old stat that works for it. Unbeknownst to you, they just released one like a day ago. And you go, oh crap. You know, somebody say, well, you just did your due diligence. Yeah, but that would be like misinformation, and that's been pushed a lot hard. At the end of the day, misinformation is called just a mistake. And we just calling it different things now at this point. Now, is maybe that more accurate, that you're doing a mistake and calling it misinformation? Sure, you did it accidentally, but it's more or less morphed into something more nefarious. Like, you meant to do that. That's disinformation. Disinformation is where you knew that the information was wrong, and so now you still put it out to push a narrative or do some sort of propaganda scheme, stuff like that. Now, concluding the years-long First Amendment battle, the settlement will prohibit the State Department from supporting any further censorship of Americans and appoint the plaintiffs as compliance monitors until 2036, so a whole decade. All right. Today marks an important day for preserving free speech in the digital era. This is Caleb Robinson, CEO of the Daily Wire. Okay, so I believe he is a co-founder, so now he's the new CEO. That's kind of cool. Caleb's been there since the beginning. The U.S. government has acknowledged its censorship structures under the Biden administration and will now be subject to limitations on similar behavior in the future. In 2023, the Daily Wire and the Federalist sued the State Department after Joe Biden's administration used its global engagement center to fund and promote companies that work to bankrupt conservative news outlets by deeming them disinformation. For those that have been longtime viewers, we did cover this. There was a hearing in front of Congress that Ben Shapiro was a part of, and it was regarding this whole thing. And partially it had to do with that they were limiting the outflow of conservative media to other people, and basically they were keeping it hindered and pushing it down and not allowing people to see it. Gee, it kind of might sound like something that's going on with us, right? 100,000 legit subscribers, and somehow we there's like a ceiling. It won't let us get past the ceiling. There's like a governor on it, you know? It doesn't make sense. Anyways, I've kicked that can down the road and talked about it too much. The Daily Wire, represented by the New Civil Liberties Alliance, demonstrated in the case how the State Department's Global Engagement Center was used during the Biden administration to deliberately target disfavored news outlets. Again, I'm going to read that just so you get a full grasp of what was going on there. The State Department's Global Engagement Center, GEC, was used during the Biden administration to deliberately, keyword, deliberately, target disfavored news outlets. And that's exactly what they did. Many of the more than 30 products showcased by GEC would assign reputability scores, almost like ESG scores, but for reputation, to news outlets, often due to their coverage of issues like COVID and election integrity. At the same time, this is key, listen to this, advertisers were pressured not to do business with flagged outlets. So not only did you look at the disfavorability, like you had a very disfavorability score that was put on place by somebody else that was left-leaning. So automatically you're kind of blacklisted. But then even more so, they were also pressuring these advertisers to not send their videos out. Do you know who does this as well? A lot that won't push videos out? Google. Do you know why our growth is like this now? It's actually going down because they're purging people, which I'm fine with. I have no problem with that, actually. But because I can't run ads. They won't let me. They won't even let me run ads on my spooky adventures stuff. Let that one sink in. And that's PG-13. That's just reacting to scary stuff. They say, oh, it's inciting like scare. I don't forget. It's some stupid stuff. It's getting so ridiculous. But we haven't run ads in over what, almost a year and a half, 2 years maybe at this point. We used to run ads all the time. Well, they won't let me. I mean, I would still be running them, by the way. We got a lot of content that we can run ads with. They won't let me. So pressure not to do business with flagged outlets based on the idea that it would be toxic to the brand. Give me a break. Stop it. You're just treating the American people like we're just a bunch of idiots. Like, don't get me wrong, there's idiots out there, and I'm idiotic every now and then. But look, most of us are just normal people. We're not that stupid. Anywho. So a big win for, hopefully a big win for the Daily Wire and other people, maybe even for us. We'll see. But I'm always for free speech. Even if I don't like what people are saying, they have a right to say it. And then we have a right to call him a lunatic like we saw with Raskin or, AOC, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, all those people. They have a right to shout whatever they want. I think they're knuckleheads, but is what it is. Okay, this is also taking place. I want to make sure we do highlight this because I'm always for adventure and space and everything of that nature. NASA takes final steps ahead of historic moon mission. So this is coming up. Now, I think this moon mission is just a flyby, if I have that correct. They're not putting boots on the ground. One small step for the trans community. One giant leap for the gays. I don't know. I'm teasing. But, that's probably how it would be in, 2026 here. NASA is preparing to launch the Artemis II. I don't know why I like that name so much, but I just enjoy it. On Wednesday evening till today, marking the first crewed flight to travel around the moon in more than 50 years. I think it's been a little bit of time. Some of you are old enough. Some of you were around when this happened, you freaking ancient dinosaurs. The mission is set to lift off from the hold on a second, let me take a swig. Yeah. I love how I just got done calling a bunch of people idiots. the Spenity K Center. Hold on a second. Kennedy Space Center. At 6:24 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's 3:24 our time here on the Pacific Coast, folks. 4 astronauts aboard the Orion spacecraft will embark on a 10-day journey. 10-day journey around the moon and back, traveling as far as 252,000 miles from Earth, farther than any humans have gone since Apollo 13 1970 mission. That's incredible. Ooh.
Artemis II mission, gearing up to launch from Kennedy Space Center, sending
on for the first human moon mission in more than 50 years.
The countdown to NASA's highly anticipated return mission to the moon now less than 36 hours away.
It's cute. I don't mind it. Kind of relaxing music. A shout out to the guy that made it. You know, people got to make this stuff. You know what I mean? You got to give a shout out to the people that are behind the scenes editing all this stuff. You know, they put a lot of work into it. Nice photos, though. So that's kind of cool. I think it's an opportunity to pray after the show for those that are embarking on this mission for exploration. I mean, that's what our species has always been about, is the adventure and exploration, going to new heights. You know what I mean? Seeing what's under a rock, pushing a boulder off a cliff. You know, we're Neanderthals. That's what it's all about. Okay, so we got a little bit of fun stuff. Appreciate that. Craig, I'll send the link to Brad's email and ask him to send it to you. You need to write to Brad. Yes, hit me up at thebaldbradshow@gmail.com. Absolutely. Let me see. Yeah, send me the email. ICE custodies. Mexican national released by LA. So here we go. My mustache is going into my nose and it's annoying me. So excuse me. I keep touching my face, but you know, we shower before the show. It's like a puppy. We get a little bit fluffy. LAPD arrested a 34-year-old Mexican national on January 10th, 2025 in Woodland Hills. So LA County, for a felony probation violation after video showed him using a propane blowtorch on debris and Christmas trees near the Kenneth Fire, which burned over 1,000 acres. Despite an ICE detainer, LA County Jail released him. Look, we're not. My fear is people are going to start getting numb to this stuff. I'm not surprised. LA County, super lefties. ICE took him into custody after a recent rearrest. How many times are we doing articles here or covering news where somebody's being arrested? Not once, not twice, not three. It blows my mind that people are engaging with police this much. I couldn't tell you the last time I even talked to a police officer. Years. I mean, it's been years. I see them going down the street, or, you know, when I'm driving in my car, I see them next to me or whatever, but showing up and then you're getting arrested? ICE lists him as a person of interest in the fire, part of 2025's devastating wildfire season that deleted 31 and destroyed thousands of structures, though no arson charges were filed, and the cause remains under investigation. So let's take a little peeky here. Oh yeah, he does have a blowtorch. Look at that. So there's no audio here. There's two guys yelling at each other. That guy is pointing, "You're the guy! You're the guy we're looking for! I know who you are." So this guy in the street pointing at the guy with the blowtorch going, "Put it down." I don't know for sure. I'll do fill in. "Put it down, you bastard. You light the fire. Put it down. Put it down." And then this guy comes out. Looks like all the dads are coming out of the woodworks here. And now they're trying to get the blowtorch out of the guy's hand. So there's three dads, looks like, trying to subdue this guy. They got him by the wrists. Yep. There you go. Get him down. And now LAPD comes up like it's a movie scene. They already got the doors open before they even park it. Love it. And now they're telling him, "This is what was going on. I saw him lighting some stuff on fire. I think he might be the one." So, by the way, weird angle of the camera, right? Like, if you really think about the placement here, does this guy have a camera just sitting on a fence post? I mean, the camera is right up on the curb, you guys. It's up on the street. You know, it's not I don't know if it's a Ring camera, but a Ring camera is usually by your door because you go and you ring the doorbell. No, I mean, I didn't think about this at the get-go. Did anybody else kind of go like, what the hell's going on with the camera angle here? How did this happen? What the? All right, well, let's see what the people are saying here. Fire us. That is a good pun. That is a dad made that. I understand AI made it, but a dad made the AI do it. That's hilarious. I see what they did there. So if you're on audio, there's a picture of Gavin Newsom and Mayor Karen Bass of LA holding a sign that says "Fire Us," and what's behind them is the Hollywood sign, and the entire mountain is ablaze. It's on fire. Well done. Incredible. What is this? Why the hell has everybody in LA allowed the LA arsonist to just stroll around town? Because it's LA, dude. This is normal. People don't, again, this is why I always talk about LA and California. People don't understand how crazy it is here. And I've told you all it's like a mental institution. I don't know how more clear I can be here on the show to describe what it's like in LA. I've said time and time again, it's like the movie Shutter Island. I'm going back to it. I'm going back to it because we clearly are not documented enough to where enough people are seeing this crap. It's like the mental asylum in Shutter Island. I want to show it to you. Let me see. It's the trailer, but hold on a second. I want to go to a specific part here. This. I'm not kidding. People think that this is like a joke. Oh, it's not really. The people don't really look like this. Yes, they do. They look like this, except way dirtier. And they are skinny because they're on meth, they're on fentanyl. They're not eating right. And let me see if there's more ground stuff here. Just scooping up, scraping up stuff. No, that's it. But they're out there pushing empty wheelchairs in hospital gowns. So you'll be walking down Hollywood Boulevard that has all the stars. I've shared this before, and I know this because it happened to me. And it's always down there. They'll be wearing, you know, the gowns you get where your booty's hanging out when you go to the ER or whatever. They make you put on that gown. It's put on backwards. It ties in the back. They'll look like this on your screen, but their hair's more frizzy and they're dirty. And they'll be pushing an empty wheelchair down Hollywood Boulevard. And it's not just one. There's other people just scurrying their feet in wheelchairs, or they're with walkers. It is like a mental asylum. So yes, no wonder this is normal. I love that we stumbled across this because they people clearly don't get it. They don't get it here. And I understand. It's so bonkers that if you're not living here, yeah, it wouldn't make sense to you. I live here. It only makes sense because I see it all the time. Democrats stating the statue soon. How else would Newsom be able to make so much money off pain and suffering? Yeah. Yeah. There's definitely some truth there. Guess I should get my own coffee since you're 2,000, 3,000 miles away. Matter of fact, this is instant coffee today. Let me get a little bit of a coffee talk going right now. This right here is instant coffee this morning. I was running a little bit late, so I don't have time to make a fresh brew. And Trader Joe's instant coffee is, you're sleeping on it. I'll tell you right now, you are sleeping on it if you're not getting Trader Joe's instant coffee. It's about yee-high. And you can put a lot of scoopies in there. I'll tell you what, you can make it as muddy as you would like. You guys know my coffee is thick, like molasses. Coats my tongue. If you look at my tongue while I'm doing the show, it's usually a little dark, like I had a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of candy. Now, careful with that reference, because some of you go, I love a little bit of chocolate. You're talking about black people. Hey, more power to you, man. More power to you. Alrighty, let's see what's going on with the California Post here. There was some stuff I wanted to talk about, but I got to open up their website. If you don't go to the California Post or the Globe, what are you doing? Trump is waging war on California insurance giants over wildfire payouts. So this is a perfect segue of talking about the wildfire guy with the arson, with the blowtorch, and what we got here. Do you all remember when Trump came to California and he had Karen Bass sitting across the way, and he's like, let people get their dumpsters out there and start cleaning some stuff up themselves. It's their property. Let them do it. Oh, well, we'll maybe do it in a week. No, get it done by tonight. She's like, okay, well, we'll get it done by tonight. Never happened. That whole meeting with them sitting around with Trump, nothing ever happened. People still haven't built their houses. The majority of houses still aren't built. How long has it been? President Trump took aim at insurance giant State Farm and other providers by accusing them of abandoning Southern Californians devastated by last year's wildfires. In a scathing Truth Social post on Tuesday, Trump singled out State Farm calling the company and others like it horrendous for failing homeowners who had faithfully paid premiums for years. Correct. People are fed up with insurance companies. What good is insurance if you're not actually insured when something happens? People have been paying them large premiums for years, only to find that when tragedy struck, these horrendous companies were not there to help. Trump said he tasked Environmental Protection Agency Administrator Lee Zeldin with producing a report that lists which companies acted swiftly, courageously, and bravely to honor their legal obligations and which ones fell short. Boy, that's going to be a short list. Those that actually swiftly, courageously, and acted bravely. That's going to be a real short list. It's going to be a long list of those that didn't want to do anything. The names of some surprise me, but in the world in which we live, nothing really surprises me. Trump added that the government was looking into this matter as we speak. State Farm and others should get their act together and treat people fairly. No, that ain't going to happen. It's sad with insurance companies. You know, it really is. What is going on here? Shocking pictures of Kristi Noem's cross-dressing husband flaunting giant fake breasts revealed. Yeah, but it could be a joke. I don't know. Oh, it looks like there's multiple photos. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to cover that. Well, I'm having a good morning. Look at this fire damage. I mean, isn't that wild? As far as the eye could see, everything is burned down. Wow. I still am like amazed at this photo that we're living in this era where a wildfire just does this to all the houses. Man. But yeah, a lot of these aren't built. I'm not saying it still looks like, oh, this is, it's January 2025, so a year later. I still think we're in 2025. I'm like, what the hell? All right. Got that there for you. So a lot of news to cover, a lot of things we're covering. Hopefully you're having a good time. Kristi Noem's hubby posted not an April Fool's joke. Oh yeah, it is April Fool's, huh? Oh crap, I totally forgot about that. That's crazy. You're right, it is April Fool's. Isn't it also the start of Passover this evening? Okay, we got a video here coming in. Let me see. It says here, there's a video of the flag removal. Yeah, didn't we just cover this? Hold on a second. Didn't we just cover this though? We covered this. Is it the same one we were just laughing at? Is it just a longer video of it or something? I guess it's a longer video. Let's take a peek-see. This comes from Craig over at Rumble and YouTube. Thanks, Craig.
Thank everybody for being here. I didn't plan on making a remark beforehand, because this is a symbol of who we are, and it's not political, it's not religious, it's not ideological. This is a flag that says clearly that we are a city that's safe and welcoming for everyone.
By the way, the audio is low. I apologize. That's not me. That's them.
And the steps that were taken to seek to erase who we are, who you are, to minimize the values of this city cannot and will not change who we are.
Love for each other will carry us through.
Yes, our
Love for each other will carry us through.
We're here with our courage.
We are.
Thank everybody for being here.
It's so crazy, man, that they're just like, they're taking stuff away from us. Where is it? Symbol. It's not ideological. A flag that says clearly safe and welcoming for everyone. That's not how most people view it, but it doesn't matter. People are very subjective in their viewing. Look at to seek to erase who we are. Oh my God. You are literally doing it to yourself, by the way. And what do I mean by that? You're a biological male and you are seeking, even though it's not possible, to erase who you are as a male and try to make yourself a female. It's not possible. I know you, maybe in the future with technology, it wouldn't surprise me if you can have some sort of pill being taken and it changes your chromosomes. It wouldn't surprise me if that process will happen at some point. But for now, you cannot transform as much as you want to. You cannot. But I have an open mind when it comes to technology, because who would have, if you asked a person 200 years ago that we would have this sucker in our hands, Yeah. Or airplanes, or even the type of cars we have hundreds and hundreds of years ago. They've been like, you're crazy. You know what I mean? Or the Waymos. The Waymos driving themselves. When I was down at Santa Monica, there's a lot of Waymos down there. It still blows my mind. Or when you go to some of these restaurants and they have a droid delivering your water to you. If you haven't been to one of those places, you might be like, wait, hold on a second, Brad. Did you just say there's droids? There's droids. There's droids in there. Yeah, I can copy and paste the link to you. There's the link. La la la. All right, where are we at here? We got some more stuff to cover, folks. Hang in there. Let's try to do one more little thing. You got it. See, I told you we're live, man. Sometimes people don't. I mean, obviously we're live. You can literally see the this thing here, but I read the chat. I see what's going on. I missed some things because I got to focus a little bit, but I see y'all in there. President Trump attends Supreme Court oral arguments. I don't know what that's about. Oh, here we go. Breaking news. Here we go. Buckle up. Trump says Iran has requested ceasefire. Whoa. Somebody's done being spakened. President Trump said in a Wednesday morning Truth Social post that Iran has asked for the U.S. for a ceasefire. Ooh. But the president indicated the U.S. will only entertain the prospect once the Strait of Hormuz is open for ships. Now, this is wild because this is week 4. This has to be done by Sunday for Trump to say, hey, this is a 4-week operation. So if it does, in fact, end by Sunday and they call for a ceasefire, bro, talk about pinpointing exactly how long this would take. A month to get somebody to bend the knee. Which, by the way, we could have. That wasn't even all our might. You know what I mean? This was Trump just going down the catalog to see what we had available at the time. All right, we'll just move some stuff over there. We won't go too crazy. Quote: Iran's new regime president, which I still don't know who it is. Do you guys know who is the president? Is it still the guy's son? Because I was told he was in a coma or his legs were blown off. I mean, I've heard so many different stories about the guy. Much less radicalized and by far more intelligent than his predecessors. It's weird because Trump is saying this, but I'm hearing other things about the guy. So let me know in the chat here if you know what's going on. Has just asked the United States of America for a ceasefire. We will consider when the Strait of Hormuz is open, free and clear. Until then, we are blasting Iran into oblivion, or as they say, back to the Stone Ages. And remember, they're just going after military sites. And I'm not saying we should ever be targeting civilians. That's not what I'm saying. But if you wanted to really impose damage in terms of crippling a nation, like he mentioned previously, going after their energy, done. You don't have to do much. You just start bombing all that stuff. It's really game over. And I actually don't want that to happen because that hurts the actual Iranian people. And it's the regime that's causing all this stuff, not necessarily the Iranian people. Now, there's a lot of Iranians out there that do support the regime, but I don't want people to be suffering because we attacked their energy sector, and that energy sector is a big deal. So we got to be careful. I mean, you don't have to look any further than Cuba or other nations where their energy is just, it's not up to the level it needs to be, and people struggle. Let's see here. Americans face painful fuel spike amid Iran war. I'm actually going to look at the fuel on my way to work today. I want to see how much it is, because it was the premium was like almost $7.20 a gallon. Yeah, some of you just fell over. Yeah, no, I didn't misspeak. I know I do that a lot. $7.20 a gallon for premium, and I think it's probably higher. The AAA national average price for regular gas as of April 1st, meaning today, is $4.06, slightly more than $1 higher than a month ago, where the average was $2.98. So just in 1 month, in 4 weeks roughly, we went from 298 average to 406 average. Woof. The AAA national average price for diesel has risen a whopping $5.49. $5.49 for diesel. As of April 1st, compared to a month ago, average of just $3.76. So a month ago, we paid $3.76, and now we're paying $5.49 for diesel. You think stuff's going to get a little bit more expensive at the grocery store for all these deliveries? I think so. Woof. Wow. We're all feeling it. We're all feeling it. Luckily, I don't drive that much. Okay. So just really quick here, this is kind of a little fun fact. American forces have flown more than 12,000 combat flights amid Iran operation. Damn. Folks, it's been 28 days. How many operations is that? Hold on a second. Everybody simmer down. It hasn't even been a month yet, right? Well, I don't even know how this is possible. How I think they're doing the numbers here is you got a guy out there, right? He's flying around, he's in his buzzer, and he has one mission to go bomb this one, but then he has another mission right after to go bomb that one. That's the only thing that makes sense to me, because if you got 12,000, right? And it hasn't even been a month yet. I'm going to just make it a month. I'll make it 30 days. Let's be, I know there's 31 in some months and 28 in February. I get it, but that's 400. That's 400 flights a day. That's crazy. So, let's do 168 times 4. That's 762. 12,000 divided by 762. Yo, that's a mission every 15 hours. That's actually not that much now I think about it. That can't be right. There's 160 hours in a week times 4. You had 12. Yeah, it's about a mission every 15 hours. Okay, that's not that bad. I'm not that impressed then, Trump. I was really impressed to get going. Maybe my math is wrong. It's early morning, but I think we could do more. You know, because some of these, you know, there's multiple missions happening at the same time. All right. Well, the number sounds cool. You know, this number here, the 12,000, but I was really impressed until I started running the numbers. That's the thing. But hey, we'll see. Hopefully this thing ends this week. I don't want to keep this going. You know, what would be funny here is, oh my gosh, speaking of April Fool's Day. Now this, I think even Trump would find this funny if the Iranian regime goes, Mr. President, we want a ceasefire. Right? He goes, only if you open up the Strait of Hormuz, assholes. And he posts on Truth Social, but then they call him back up and all they go is, April Fools. Ah, shit. Yo. That would be really funny. That would be funny. That would open, I think, up a lot of people's hearts. And by the way, yeah, I'm sorry. I think people would laugh. I think a lot of people would laugh if that really did happen. Amidst of everything going on, I think if anything, it would actually calm everything down a little bit. You know what I mean? April Fools. Ah, shit. Good one, Muhammad. A good one. Alrighty, folks. Well, I hope you have a lovely day. That's everything we have here at the Bald Brad Show. I'm sure there's going to be more news out there this morning that we did not cover, but make sure you hit that like button. If you feel like we deserve a subscription, it's absolutely free. Just hit that subscribe button, follow, so you know exactly when we go live. We go live each and every morning, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If I'm not on by 6:20 Pacific Standard Time, that means probably not doing a show. But, you know, that's what we do here as a hobby. We don't make a ton of money from doing this. It's more for the community and just getting news out there. We have a good time here. With that being said, pray for this country, pray for Donald Trump, read your scriptures, read your Bible, and, you know, power of prayer is effective. Appreciate you. God bless. Take care, Patriots.